Hulk Hogan. All right, this is a discussion that I know a lot of people will down Hulk Hogan, say that he wasn't the greatest pro wrestler. This was something me and my brother was actually talking about yesterday. A lot of people say Ric Flair, best wrestler of all time. When it comes to technical ability and stuff like that, I would agree. But if you go back to like the whole meaning of professional wrestling, it is a business. That's why they call it a business.
Mhm.
What makes the business? Putting butts in the seats, selling the pay-per-view, selling the merchandise. When we look back and we say who was the greatest professional wrestler of all time, if you judge on tickets sold, the impact that it had on the business, I see these things all the time that completely leave Hulk Hogan out. I don't think there was ever a professional wrestler, Dan, that made his mark on the business like Hulk Hogan. I mean, he was everywhere. It started with the movies and like the pay-per-views, everything. When he came around, WrestleMania even. I mean, I don't think that Hulk gets the credit that he deserves. Now, was his matches the most entertaining? No. I don't think he knew hardly any wrestling moves, which they did show. I don't know if you've ever seen any clips of Hogan when he was over in Japan. Looked like a completely different wrestler. He actually wrestled. He
Oh
did
wow!
wrestling holds and stuff.
Can't say have no.
Yeah, but he said when he came to America, he realized the less that he did, the more he did that, and
Yeah,
worked up the
exactly.
crowd.
Listen, the crowd tear the shirt. I mean, it's all part of the theatrics.
But I just don't think that he gets the credit that he deserves sometimes. I mean, I remember growing up in that era. Hulk Hogan was in cartoons, you name it, breakfast cereals. I mean, he
Yeah,
was everywhere. And
yeah.
nowadays it seems like every time I see these different articles and documentaries that come out, they hop over the importance of a Hulk Hogan. When Hulk Hogan went to the NWO and became the bad guy, that blew everybody's mind.
Yeah.
That was the American hero.
No, again, go right back to how we started the whole conversation today. Moments in time.
Yeah.
Different athletes will have had their moments in time, and will have made an impression, have left an impression upon those that viewed them. You watched all that. I mean, I remember watching different types of matches. Yes, Hulk Hogan was very limited in his ability. What I saw in the American style of professional wrestling, because it typically was the big leg drop. The big killer move was his leg drop.
And the big
He,
boot. Yeah.
yeah. So again, it just it is what it is. I mean, it's with today's product, you'll see some organizations that they do so much acrobatics. How much higher can you raise the bar? They're doing death-defying acrobatics that you have to be so synchronized, and if you're off just a little bit, someone will get hurt really badly. And professional wrestling is just one of those sports that they like to say it's fake. Well, no, it may not be a real athletic contest, but it's an athletic contest, and these people are working together.
Well,
And
Hulk's a perfect example of that, Dan. I mean, even though he didn't do the most acrobats and stuff, but he's had 9 back surgeries. Like
yeah,
9. They cannot get his back straightened out.
yeah. Well,
You
again,
know,
but again, that's the bumping itself. I've used the word bumping. But bumping means every time that you get knocked out, you're taking a bump. Most professional wrestlers don't even realize they're doing the most basic fundamentals of martial arts: breakfalling, so to where you want to land on as much body mass as you possibly can to dissipate the force. But the reality is, in a course of a match, how many bumps are you taking? And they're not landing on a padded surface. These rings are stiff. If you're on the independent scene, they're some of the crappiest rings that you'll ever be bumping on. And the way that they've been put together, I've seen screws sticking up out of some mats, and it just, you got to give professional wrestlers a great deal of credit again, because their arena is this 18 by 18 or 16 by 16 or this 20 by 20 type of a range. outside of the immediate area, because one of the match is held inside that ring, outside of the perimeters. You got some of these guys that they're going way off into the audience and they're cartwheeling down bleachers and the whole 9 yards. So again, incredible athletes doing incredible athletic maneuvers, and sooner or later their career comes to an end, and now they have to sort of learn how to live in a condemned body because of all of these bumps, bruises, crash, bang, boom movements that they have done throughout their career.
So, I mean, I would think his style definitely helped him have the longevity that he did, a lot.
Well, it did, but when you talk about like the back alone, was each of those big leg drops that he did, and landing in somewhat of an awkward position. Was that something that might have helped keep torquing his back into a certain unnatural type of position?
He said it was. He said, he wished he would have thought of a different finishing move because as lackluster as some people might think it was, 9 back surgeries, it definitely contributed a lot of that. I mean, Hulk was a big guy.